Brands are one of those huge topics. It's one of those things that really defines a company or even an organization. So when I began writing on LinkedIn, my profile was pretty bare. I didn't really have anything. I wasn't really sure what the platform could do or was meant to do. It was mainly with our course, we got assigned these articles that we had to write, and we would write them and then we'd post them. So as I went through, I realized that it mattered less on, say, whatever my specific article said, but about the overall theme and what I was trying to essentially communicate to the reader or the audience. And in order to do that, it's important to understand what kind of audience you're really trying to reach. Because if you're just writing in LinkedIn in particular, if you're just writing about a lot of different topics all across the board, that doesn't necessarily give any sense of cohesion or theme to what your profile is about. You could have a brand where you just want to talk about things in all different industries, which is great, but this kind of leads you to have the perspective where you're not really focused in any one particular field or the other. So in particular, when I was trying to build my brand, I wanted to focus on things that I found particularly interesting, and then I wanted to focus on how I could bring that topic or issue to the general audience. So in 2016, it was a presidential election, and one thing I've always been very interested about was politics, and I've also been interested in marketing as well as media. So a lot of my articles throughout the year were really focused on the intersection between politics and digital media. So understanding how politicians really utilize these digital sites, these digital platforms to build their campaigns, as well as how they interacted with audiences or their constituencies or potential voters. So if that was my overall theme, then the way I wanted to build my brand was I wanted to really focus on that, but also to make everything that I provided or the content I provided to have a certain level of quality. So in terms of the content, a lot of people who write online articles, there's a lot of different styles. There's some people who like to write shorter articles that are basically maybe like a 2-minute read or a skim, and then they'd write a bunch throughout the week, and that would essentially be what they're known for. So all of their followers, they would understand, okay, maybe 3 times a week, they're going to have an article that's about a given topic, and then they would just essentially read that. But I really wanted to focus on looking at more of an in-depth look at any given topic. I would say research or look at. So instead of maybe writing 2 or 3 articles per week, I'd really focus on maybe one article a week or one article every 2 weeks. But essentially, the article would be much longer. And if you were to read it, it would take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So it's a deeper dive into whatever given subject, whether or not it's how you use digital media or whether or not it's looking at different influences of the entertainment industry or the evolution of technology or even looking at, say, like the gaming industry. With whatever given topic, I really wanted to make sure I looked at the topic with a deep lens and really kind of focus in on all of the different things that are addressed with this issue. And so when I'm building my brand, I really wanted to make it feel as though these articles that I'm writing, they're meant to be informative pieces, not just something that you might want to look at, say, scroll through on your phone as a quick read. So in terms of establishing your brand, I think LinkedIn is a great example of how you really take time and understand what kind of audience you want to build, and then understand what you're good at or what you're interested in, and really focusing in on that instead of just covering everything but not really focusing on anything in particular.